There we go. Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Final Fantasy After Dark. We are presenting the Final Fantasy Randomizer IRONGOL Heavy Metal Championship. I am your restreamer, Dark Moon EX. Welcome to my channel. We are joined here in the booth by Cyrnus and MG Weirdo. Cyrnus and MG Weirdo, I am going to kick it over to you to take us away for this great match between Dengwoo and Lifereboot. Take it away, gentlemen.
Thank you, Dark Moon, and we are here for this late night matchup. Well, a little bit later than some of our normal runs. Cyrnus, what are you thinking so far?
Oh, I've been looking at these flags for a while, and it's looking like a hot mess with this random treasure low well. The only ribbon we're going to find is probably that incentive ribbon that's out there.
Yeah, hot mess. I could not have said it better myself, or said it better rather. Yeah, I was really shocked when I saw the 28 incentivized items, but only 14 locations. So I hope these runners have their shovels ready. We're going to be doing some digging.
Yeah, their only incentive locations are going to be main NPCs and fetch NPCs. There's no actual incentive chests out there. They're also starting with a great big old free nothing. No bridge, no canal, no boat, no nothing.
Well, I guess we know that it's probably either the king or the princess that's going to give us our first set of transportation then. The other thing I'm seeing that we already have on screen is that we have identical parties from each side. I didn't see that in the flag, so I don't know if this is a gentleman's agreement or if they actually chose to do this.
Yeah, I did not see force in the flags either, so I'm guessing that this just happens to be what they like, and I like this party too. It's a solid party.
And we're off. Tier 1 magic, harm, invis, cure 3. Reasonable, but nothing fantastic, but black magic is awesome. We have warp, we have bane, and we have brack. Which one are you picking up, Cyrnus?
I'm definitely getting that warp, and probably brack. I'd probably skip the bane for now.
Yeah, bane does not hit quite as much, but certainly has that AoE potential. All of that poison smoke rather than just stone bracken into pieces.
They can't pick them all up on that black mage at least. They don't need to worry about keeping a slot open for cure 3 on him.
Yeah, the other thing I note is a relatively new change to our game. So they do have a flag that has all these numbers by the weapons. So can you tell us a bit about that?
That would be our fabulous blurst weapons, as we've taken to calling it. All of your weapons and armor are going to have a number somewhere between -5 and 5, just kind of giving it a little bit of a nudge in either direction, whether it's going to be better or worse.
Okay, I know I'm fairly new to dealing with these, and the minuses always looked like dashes at first to me, so I didn't understand why people didn't like them. And there we have a katana for +3. That's going to be a fantastic endgame weapon.
Oh yeah, and they all brought that thief, so we will see that, assuming they find the tail.
Okay, and here we have a Garland fight from Lifereboot. Slowly taking on, missing a couple of times. Here we get Lightning 1 as Garland takes down the black and makes it through on the second round, getting that level up and moving on to save the princess. And here we have the herb from the king, and let's see what transportation Sarah gives us. The canoe.
That's not going to get us very far. I guess we're probably headed over to dwarves, because north and south open progression is open.
Yeah, and then as Lifereboot, the clam chowder is back in Canaria doing some shopping. We have Dengwoo over in finally making it to the Temple of Fiends and is pushing his way through, working on picking up those chests, and then we'll head over to Garland. And as you predicted, Cyrnus, Lifereboot is heading over to the dwarves, or at least in that direction.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of options at this point. I'm pretty sure that was the only way he could have gone. One quirk that we couldn't quite make out with Garland just because it's still so early, our enemies and bosses are 250% tonight, but clamps are tri-state, so we're not sure whether they're on or not yet.
Yeah, and then Dengwoo trying for Bane and then getting a Brack off to defeat Garland. While Lifereboot finds the bridge in the free chests in Dwarf Cave. Looks like Lifereboot is headed back east and is gonna battle the bridge boss.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all. Definitely want to go see what's in Provoca today, get that level 2 magic and another key item. I say key item, but with 28 things incentivized, they're clearly not all key items tonight. We actually have everything except for the mass immune incentivized. So there's plenty of magical weapons and stuff in there that kind of are almost a dud, but they might also be very useful because item magic is randomized as well tonight.
And did not save after the bridge boss. So, tried to rob Matoya, but thought better of it when he found out there was just some change in her chests, and now he's off to Provoca, like you were mentioning, and we're going to at least check the incentivized location and see what's actually there. I mean, with that canoe, I'm a little surprised that neither of them have decided to just go full south and wrap around to Elfland, which is something I would certainly have thought about doing.
Yeah, there's a good chance that'll be the next step, but passing up on level 2 magic when all you have so far for sweepers is Bane, I definitely want that level 2 magic.
Well, and you get Temper, but no sweepers.
I said that before I saw it. Now that I've seen it, okay, maybe I didn't. Assuming, well, do we have Fade? No, we do not. But we do have Life 2 and Exit. Amazing white magic today.
And don't forget Ruse. It's not that important now, but it might be critical in the endgame because your knight, assuming we get the tail, would be able to cast that.
That's a fantastic point, especially with the item magic randomized, because we're not guaranteed a defense sword tonight.
The other thing I remember seeing on the flag is that these pirates could be unsafe, and without a sweeper, that could be very important here. And yeah, the other thing is I would probably not have picked up Lightning like Lifereboot has, but he's been putting it to work and making good use of it.
Yeah, it can get the job done against some of this early stuff. I saw him using it against Garland, and I don't know, I feel like Brack will usually land on Garland, so it's kind of not needed.
And Bicky with the canal.
Well, that'll come in handy at some point. The ship's bound to be around here somewhere.
Yeah, we do have save items here, so our tracker and restreamer Dark Moon is interested in sending us to Ice Cave, while Burt Reynolds, the gambler, or sorry, the bandit, excuse me, is watching ringside and it would be more interested in heading to Volcano.
Yeah, we still haven't really found those sweepers, so I'd be inclined to check Elf. I'm not that brave, but we'll see how our racers feel.
Yeah, sorry about that, Bert. I was just throwing back to your recent 8-hour matchup against the gambler and just thinking about how awesome that was to see you guys go toe to toe for that long. Yeah, this Iron Goal tournament and has been amazing so far, just with the variety of matches. We've seen, fatal four ways. We've seen, what is that pit? The number of wins in a given time.
Yeah, the sheer number of different kinds of challenges and different sets of flags that we're getting out of this is fantastic. It's done a lot to really get some of us interested in racing.
And Dengwoo picks up his canal, checks the item shop, and finds his save items. That Pure is going to come in handy since he had two of his light warriors had poison. Elmarkin suggesting that we should go to Crescent Lake for the old men on our way down there. One thing, though, is that Crescent Lake, or the Sages rather, and Ordeals, and Sarda, we're used to having those as early. They are tri-state in this flag set, so will the Sages actually hand over their incentivized item, or will they hold on to it?
Once again, Black Magic not doing it for us.
Yeah, well, that's level 6, so I'm actually kind of happy, or I would be happy that a lot of that doesn't, isn't very useful magic. I mean, I thought I saw life there in the last slot for white magic, but otherwise some spells that I wouldn't even really worry about.
Yeah, and at level 6, a lot of us don't even pick up spells at that point if we don't have to, if it's not something essential. So, yeah, no, I could see being happy to see things that you don't really love at that level.
Oh, that Frost Iguana coming out. Honestly, I probably would have reset as soon as I saw that Frost, but Lifereboot is going toe-to-toe with this critter. Those lightnings are hitting, and the fighter manages to finish it off.
Those +4 daggers really putting in work.
So Lifereboot did reset back out of the Sages and all the way back to Provoca, and is now looks like it's a small grind here, while Dengwoo is making his way over around to the canal and is going to follow up with that Elfland play most likely.
Absolutely. He's got the herb. Unfortunately, and I'm sure he's already seen this because he looked at the flags, of course, but the doctor, the medic, and the dragon are all going to be scrambled today.
Yeah, they could be vanilla, or they could be some strange concoction. Who knows? But Dengwoo has picked a completely different path than either of us were thinking about. He's gone down to Marsh.
It is a handful of chests. Nothing's incentivized, but hey, if something's there, you might be the only one to find it.
Oh, and we're saying we have 14 loose items in this seed. So there's no telling. I mean, we're going to be digging for a lot. We could have all important things on our incentive items or our incentive locations, or we could have things in the locked chest down here, in the C-shaped chest in Sea Shrine, or there's a number of places, and we're gonna have to keep checking until we know we're in go mode. So Dengwoo's found out that these werewolves know some bedtime stories, trying to put him to sleep.
Yeah, we'll be checking a lot of chests today, no doubt about that.
And their Lifereboot's making your play over to Elfland to check out our magic, and let's see what we have here. Fast, Nuke, Ice 3, Lit 3, all level 3. What do you
level
leave
3 is
behind?
glorious. I mean, there's almost too much good stuff there.
And I think I saw a Fear 4 axe on Dengwoo's side. So some of our item magic is Fear, but that'll actually be a pretty good weapon for this early game, even into the mid game. And Block 2 for level 4 is the only strong pickup there. I guess you could pick up Fire 2 as a backup sweeper. But you won't have a lot of charges with that just yet. Actually, I don't think they're... Oh, wow. I'm not even going to finish that thought.
Dengwoo finds a nice, fantastic sword for that night. Once we get the tail, that Excalibur 5 will put in serious work.
Yep, if we find the tail, which is a big if, that's going to be a huge find. And like you were saying earlier, it's in March. There's no guarantee that Lifereboot's going to make it over there and find that. We turn in the herb and get the bottle, so unfortunately that's a dead end for right now. With the towns in their vanilla locations, we're going to need an airship to be able to... I mean, we can release the fairy, we just can't talk to her and find out what she's going to give us in exchange for freeing her.
We should free her anyways. It's the proper thing to do, I think.
Yeah, I mean, who knows how long she's been stuck in that little bottle.
Cat Claw -2, that might sell for some reasonable money, but...
Yeah, I mean, so Marsh was certainly worth checking. It looks like Lifereboot is starting with the top of Marsh and then might go on south. So far, what I'm seeing is Dengwoo is being a little bit more methodical in that he's not as willing to reset out of some of these locations as Lifereboot has been. So with your playstyle, Cyranus, are you more of a move through from one side to the other, or are you someone who makes a lot of gambles and makes a lot... Or what is your overall strategy for a seed like this?
I don't like to gamble until I feel like I'm behind. If I'm losing and I feel like I'm losing, I will make crazy, terrible gambles that completely cost me every race I take.
Well, keep in mind that still means you're a better racer than me. I am both undefeated and I have yet to win a race, if that tells you anything.
Yes, Cheeseinator, you saw that correct. Level 3 Black Magic is amazing today.
Yeah, Mark, and if I ever do end up racing, it's one of my O's must go is... can say that the wrong way. So we have our nighttime wolves telling us a nice little bedtime story.
Yeah, that's terrible to see. You don't know how long you're going to be sitting there waiting to actually do something.
They keep waking up. I guess it must not be that great of a story, or it's got some light sleepers. Yeah, no level 3 and no level 4 charges yet. Yeah, I think that was the correct call there, to just reset out.
I suspect that's one of the reasons where we saw them do Marsh, is just because the early magic was not great, and they need a couple of levels to really get level 3 magic online.
Yeah, see, I always have trouble with sort of these intermediate levels, especially while back, and then things like Hydra are always annoying. So honestly, I probably would have gone to Crescent Lake and stayed over there and looked for those peds, or tried to take on a couple of giants just to get enough XP to be able to cast some of those spells. But of course, I might not have been over there at this level either.
Deng seems to be handling it alright. Got at least a couple of charges of nuke now. Might find some EXPs. And then it'll be a case of whether we check Volcano or check Ice.
Well, Darkmoon thinks it's time for Ice, and the Bandit thinks it's time for Volcano. So we will see which place these runners choose. Deng hasn't been to Crescent Lake yet, so he's going to go there first.
Yeah, he'll take some time visiting the old men and find out that they're not inclined to give up their treasure just yet.
Pro rings are -5 tonight.
Yeah, we may not be wearing a whole lot of those. Or we might, because, like I said, we might only see one ribbon tonight.
Yeah, I'm still unfamiliar with these, but they still have all their protections. They just lose, like, absorb and evade. Is that correct?
Correct. So if we don't have ribbons, they will still be death protection, and most likely will still be worn for that reason.
Yeah, absolutely. You get rubbed often enough by the fiend refights. I mean, and that death protection is so critical just to get through some of those instant kill spells like that.
Yeah, -5, it won't be offering much protection beyond that. Its normal 8 absorb should be down to, I believe, 3.
Okay, and here I wonder if Dengwoo decided to come back, and if he's just walking off encounters. That's what it looks like. I was also wondering, when he reset out and kept walking, I was wondering if he was going to look for the peds for some experience. But it appears he's going over toward Volcano.
Indeed, and the way he's burning those nuke charges, I suspect that he's doing as chat said and picked up a couple extra houses so that he can refill after he gets these levels outside these dungeons.
And that is not Volcano he's headed to.
No, it is not. I like Volcano. It seems to have more chests, has multiple different spike tiles. But hey, we have warp, we have exit. Ice is not a bad play either.
Yeah, I'm always happy with the first couple of floors of Volcano at a lower level, but I do typically want, 14 or 15 to get to head through carry. But ice is one of those where if the enemies roll bad, it's really awful, but if the enemies don't roll much, then it's not nearly as scary.
And it's 2 floors of awful before you even see any chests.
That's right, and all the chests are, well, almost all the chests are hidden behind spike tiles or around them, so yeah, I guess it's a question of choose your poison and which one is more enticing to you. And
I like how he used that fear axe on those undead. I think he might have been thinking it was still a light axe today.
Yeah, I don't know too many undead that get scared. Oh my, that is a bad find. Mummies have damage poison, wiping out Dengwoo. And those mummies are an awful, awful enemy to end up with damage poison. We are going to see those again, and again, and again.
Yeah, we'll be seeing mummies for a long time. They are everywhere in this game. After seeing that, that may have been enough to chase me away from Ice Cave, but not Dengwoo. He's gonna give it another shot.
Alright, the wizards just have fire, so they're just making a little bit of toast. They're not actually, throwing any gasoline on it. And he's counting on these nuke charges to make him through. Makes it through the R-Bones, hits level 9. Well, Lifereboot made it out of Marsh, is back to Elfland, picks up some more spells, and we'll see in a few minutes where he ends up going. Headed east across the continent using that canoe.
As someone that really hates the river system, I really like this play from Lifereboot. It's one that I need to start doing more, I think. Taking the land route instead of that river route.
Yeah, and he managed to avoid encounters on his way too, which is pretty rare.
Yeah, it looked like he saved and reset at one point. I do believe he encounter manipulated that to be no encounter.
Yeah, I saw the save, but I didn't see whether he reset or not. But that makes sense. If they've got a good run-off reset, then that'd be a great way to make your way through some of these areas.
Chat pointing out that Ice D's rolled low health, so apparently at least regular enemies are not clamped tonight. That tri-state ended up being off.
Yeah, less than 178 health, and Lifereboot makes it down to the Volcano Treasury. An A-Rub staff +5, well, that +5 isn't all that useful on it, but the A-Rub might come in handy.
Some vanilla chain armor. Not quite the chain +5 that we've all gotten used to seeing, but it'll do in a pinch.
Oh, these wizards are kind of flashy too. Throwing a party with some pyrotechnics.
Images are a little mean tonight. Looks like they got mute and ice too, so they're gonna hold you still, keep you from blowing them up, and then just slowly freeze you to death.
Yeah, that is not the most fun time. I mean, we're just warming up here, so I'd much rather be sitting around the fire, watching the lights go than being quiet and held in place. And we find a Pro Cape -4 on Lifereboot side. So again, I mean, that's our shield item. That'll be a slight improvement over the Pro Ring in that it provides the same protections, but
Actually, the Pro Cape
no.
doesn't provide any protections.
I keep getting baited by that. It's just a shield. Well, that's completely worthless.
Yeah, tonight with those negative modifiers on it, I probably would not even equip it. It may give you a little bit of absorb, but the dodge loss from it is going to be painful.
Yep, and then Dengwoo picked up Dragon Armor, which also rolled -5. So the Dragon Mail will still be useful. I know that one has resistances. But we've got some fantastic equipment for at night, but we're still only running around with a fighter. So Lifereboot heads out of the volcano, saves his progress, saves all the loot that he's gotten, and is headed back down. I think he's cleared out this floor, so he needs to head on down a little further. Oh no, he's got one more set of checks to make.
Yep, we're just inching our way through these dungeons bit by bit, taking what little bit we can, getting out and saving with it. Just getting a couple of levels here and there. Hopefully we'll get strong enough to actually make it through one of them before too long and find that progression we're looking for.
Yeah, although I'm not sure about this play by Lifereboot. That silver -4 is probably not worth your time. I would have just reset and dove back in, and I mean, it's worth some money, but that's it. It's not worth it. It's not useful. Oh, a Cure 4 +3 helmet.
That is a nice find. So that should be a heal helmet, which is already like the best helmet in the game. And it's a +3, and it casts Cure 4. I will take that every day.
Gloomchew in chat says, was that 2 of them? No, not quite. There was a Cure 2 gauntlet that was +3, and then a Cure 4 helm. So the Cure 2 gauntlet, I mean, you might wear for the stats, especially sort of in meantime, but the Cure 4 helm is something you're going to keep all the way through. Just put that on the knight and self-healing. Man mode is looking better and better.
Yeah, with the Cure 4 item out there, a solo run is not entirely out of the question, especially on that night if he's able to pick up Ruse late.
Yeah, and we find our first shirt over on Lifereboot side. It's an invis shirt, -4, so it might be French vanilla, although not as great armor. We find another Katana 3, and we'll have to wait a little bit to see which shirt that actually was. A sleep sword +4. So that's got to be the Bane sword, which actually makes that a... Well, I guess it's not as good as the X-Cal that we're going to be using anyway. But it is a very strong sword.
Yeah, with X-Cal and Katana both being blessed today, those will probably be the only swords we see getting used, unless Masa comes out blessed.
Yeah, it's always, especially with these, the ribbon is +3, so it's armor, a little bit of armor, and all those protections.
We'll see if we see any more of those ribbons, or if that is the incentivized one.
Well, like you said earlier, partner, I think that is likely to be the incentivized ribbon, since this is a low treasure seed. And I wonder if the low treasure is factored into all these pluses and minuses, because I've been seeing a lot of minuses so far.
I do not believe low treasure affects the blast curse chances, but that is an interesting thing that they may choose to add in the future.
Yep, and what's in the box? It could be anything. It could even be a ship. While Lifereboot finds the XP tile, 6 metal slimes. Darkmoon, I think the incentive chest and ice is not incentivized, although the dragon mail was in the chest just to the right of that. No locations are incentivized tonight, so it's only the NPCs. And with that ship, Dengwoo will need to make his way up to Provoca, and then he'll be able, and he's already got canals, so he'll be able to head wherever he wants. Just about.
Looked like for a second he was thinking of headed down to the volcano, but I think he's thought better of it. Chat, all excited that ice is the right answer tonight. Why? Not ice.
Well, Darkmoon called it before they even went down there, so... And I have to agree with that last statement. Ice is way better than Marsh. Just the number of enemies, while in Vanilla those sorcerers with Death Touch were awful with things being shuffled. There just aren't as many enemies, so there's not as many chances to get all the skills and spells that have been shuffled around. And I did want to point out that we did see Death Touch already. It was on the Sphinxes that are a trap tile in Volcano. So Lifereboot has seen this, while Dengwoo has not. And
I don't know the limits on randomized touches, though. I'm not sure if it's one or if we may have other Death Touchers out there.
Alright, I know the number was curtailed down to a more reasonable number after a few seeds that had like 5 and 6 different enemies having Death Touch. But it's always which enemy and where do you find them? I mean, there's the infamous Gurmedusa Death Touch seed. If mummies have it, I mean, you're going to see it all game, but if it's something like a scum that you only see down in Marsh, then that's not so bad.
Or it might be unrunnable ambushing lobsters that we're going to see on the second to last floor of Topher.
Did you open this seat early?
I did not.
I would really love it if that happened. Oh, man.
Since I'm not racing, I too would love it if that happened.
Yep, and Dengwoo making his way to Ordeals, where he's just digging chests.
Ordeals was also tri-state, so that's a good check. He could have been turned away at the door, but it wasn't too bad. They let him in today.
Oh, you mean the early Ordeals, like whether he could enter it in the first place? Yes,
right, because we haven't found that crown yet. He may have been locked out.
Right. Well, the chests are there is no incentivized item here, which is what I immediately thought. And knowing that there's no incentivized item means you're less likely to come here in the first place, but everywhere is just as good as anywhere else at this point.
That is true. You're having to learn and navigate this pillar maze for basically what just amounts to 8 chests.
And those gargoyles with the slow just sucking down the time? Yeah, in chat saying, hey, I would have gone to Volcano just for chest density. Certainly that's what the percentages say.
Absolutely, which is why I would normally do Volcano before ice. But, we haven't seen too much in Volcano, so as viewers, we know that might not be the play today.
Yeah, well, and if there's one thing that Deng Nation is, it is not predictable. He will do some crazy stuff just to have fun with it. And while those metal slimes have Stinger, oh no.
At least he's runnable.
Yeah, that red D trap tile was shuffled to Phantom, although there was a ruby in that chest, and that's a random ruby. That is not an incentivized ruby. So we'll see if that pays off. It'll certainly, once Lifereboot goes to ice and finds a ship, it'll help him get over to Sarda, and we can find out if Sarda is accessible.
Yeah, combined with that ship, that may be our progression at Sarda. And Dengwoo picks up a Sun Sword +5. That is going to serve him very well until he gets the tail.
So Gloomchew Sarda may or may not be vampire locked because he is tri-state. So we don't know if early is on or not. Dengwoo also found a cube right next to that Sun Sword, that Woat Sword. So, and then immediately runs into mummies that are they gonna wipe him out of here or no? No, hold on the edge of your seats. That nuke clears the mummy pack, and the only man standing is his life caster. So Dengwoo scrapes through.
Yep, that was kind of what I was afraid of coming here to Ordeals, is because there's mummies here. We're going to see those also if he decides to go to Earth Cave.
Well, and they're in Waterfall, and the mummies are everywhere. Right, we found some Frost Ds, which we know have pretty low health. So that would actually be a great tile to grind on. If it was a little bit closer to the door, it'd be perfect.
At least it's close to the door out. Even if it's not close to the entrance, you can get out with your grind, which is also very important.
Yeah, especially I mean, that would be amazing even if you were doing, or especially if you're doing black belt strats where you're down to a one-man grind. They would be perfect for that because they would just fall over. And Dengwoo off to check the caravan. Now, this is what I believe would be called a veteran move, finding the crown. Knowing that he could walk over there and find that incentivized item in the shop, or at least check for it and to make it before making his way back, that's a big pickup. I usually don't think about that walk ever. I think about going there once I have the float and the airship.
Yeah, that's a check I didn't learn about until it completely got me hung up on a seed and made me think the seed was broken and had to be told that, hey, no, you should check this place.
And Dengwoo makes it halfway to Waterfall before turning around, coming back to On. Picks up some soft potions, probably gonna save in the inn here. Inn's a little bit cheaper than a house, but you can't replace that house right here.
Yeah, which is part of the reason I think he thought better of it and went back, because he does not have a lot of houses left.
Yep, and Lifereboot on the right, making their way down. We know these Frosties are easy, but he's not going to try them. Of course, Lifereboot got a ton of levels from those metal slimes in Volcano, so probably just going to go and hunt some items for a while. And Puffy Duck in the chat. Who are you yelling at to get it together? If he's yelling at El Markin, if that's a challenge, we might have another Iron Goal race to set up.
Dengwoo found some gas Ds here in the waterfall. That's a pretty rare encounter normally, but with them shuffled, he seems to be finding it quite a bit, and it does not have a lot of HP for the amount of experience it gets.
Yeah, that's the Category 8 encounter there. So while it's possible to see him, you're right, it's rare. And here we go into the mummy, and this might be the first time you're actually happy to see whiz mummies instead of regular mummy.
This, or when you're looking for experience, and I believe that's a vanilla trap tile for this place.
That is absolutely correct. So, is this even randomized? We get the required loot from Robot, and we get a third katana, we get a couple of opal shields +2. So those opal shields are nice to have. Oh, yep. I'm usually skating into Waterfall a couple levels too low, Dark Moon, so that's why I'm not always so happy to see him, because I may or may not be able to kill him in time.
Yeah, that second opal shield should be worth a pretty penny, although we haven't seen a whole lot of expensive shop items. I don't think we've seen gold bracelets at all yet.
And did you see what happened on the right side? Those mages with stone poison. And Lifereboot was not going anywhere. Having to re-dive the ice cave.
Yeah, we saw it took Dang a couple of tries to make it through that ice cave. It was not a friendly place today.
Yeah, I don't think I saw him hit the mages. The eye mages certainly. And then Deng is turning in his crown to Astos. And got the crystal, which seems a little vanilla to me. But we'll see what Matoya has at the end there, because she certainly doesn't have the herb.
Certainly not, but she could have our key, which would be nice.
Yeah, that would be some tasty French vanilla there for Deng. Open up a few more checks for him.
Although I suspect what Deng would really like to see would be the floater.
Oh, we don't need that. That should be like, I don't know, not the C-shaped chest, but one of the ones on that floor. Matoya was cooking up some TNT in her cave.
More fetch quest magic. I do not mind this. It is an extra 5% experience every time one of these people send them from one quest to another.
I think Lifereboot taking a minute to think about how they're going to get through these mage packs.
He knows he has to do it, though. He is out of other places to check here in the Intercontinent.
Yeah, I think you just have to encounter manipulate your way down. And there's that floater you called, partner. Coming out of Narek instead of uses that TNT to, I guess, blow up the balloon or something.
Yes, Ding, hooray. We see it, and I agree. This will open up a couple more easy checks for him too, because we have already gotten that bottle, so the fairy's out there for us. And since we haven't seen those gold bracelets yet, I don't believe, those are probably waiting for him in Gaia.
Yeah, well, who knows? Are they going to be +5 or are they going to be -5? It's like the rest of this seed, it's going to be -4 or -5, and then you might as well take silvers.
I think even silver's rolled low today, because I haven't seen anyone wearing any.
Well, let's see where Deng is heading off to. Is he going to hit up Sarda? See if the old man is home or if he's ignoring the doorbell. And Sarda answers the door and gives Dengwoo his key.
Unfortunately, that means the ruby that was down in the bottom of Volcano that Lifereboot spent all that time getting doesn't really amount to much today.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but I guess Rando's gonna Rando. And Dengwoo checking the earth trap tiles and finds eye mages and an undead pack from ice and says, nope, not worth enough. Not for the trouble it's gonna cause him. Oh, that was kind of tasty.
Opal bracelet. That is a solid find. That's some serious armor.
Yeah, so these items are hitting the extreme tonight. Some of them are really fantastic and some of them are really awful, and it doesn't seem like there's much in between.
He could probably consider, since he put all that on the red mage, putting it in the lead, and it might actually tank better than the fighter at this point.
Yeah, who you calling squishy? Okay, and Lifereboot making his way through the bottom of ice, Not quite found that ship yet, but getting close. Dengwoo heads back to Northwest Castle, looking for these chests, but also probably going to look at these trap tiles and see what he's got. Yeah, no thank you, mummies. Yes, mummy, I've been a good boy. I cleaned my room. Mummy's in a frost giant. Dengwoo says no thank you. Lifereboot picks up that ribbon. And apparently Darkmoon, our tracker, is in Melmond, which we have yet to visit tonight. So you get a check of the treasury there, and there is a chime. So he's got chime and a second ribbon. So which one was incentivized?
Maybe one, maybe neither. I don't know what's up with this. Well, I guess it is only low magic and not Melman level magic today.
Lifereboot finally gets that ship, so he can break out of the intercontinent and start making some serious progression. Dengwoo finds nothing up in that, in the trap chest and the Temple of... Probably has got one more to check. But he's got Chime and he's got Cube, so he's gonna go to my favorite dungeon in this game. Sky, 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 sky.
Everyone likes the sky play.
There's only 3 or 4 of us that are members of Team Sky, but there's a fair number of chests, and then even if the chests are a little spread out, it's a great walking grind, meaning that those chests aren't really costing you anything, they are gaining you experience. And Deng doing a great job being thorough, checking the Corneria treasury and finding Oxyale.
With that, we are just a rod from go mode on Deng's side.
Yeah, I was thinking I needed to stop and take a minute to see if we were in go mode or not, but you said just one item away. Although Dengwoo would really love to have that tail, because all this equipment we found would make that fighter and that thief just endgame beasts if we can find the right stuff. If we can get them promoted. And we found yet another Cure 4 helmet +3. So maybe it's Bash Brothers instead of man mode.
Either way, I could see maybe Bash Brothers, maybe Fighter Red Maid.
Oh, I'm sure you keep the Red Mage up if it's possible, but Dengwoo making his way through the Cardia Islands, checking all these treasures. Lifereboot, the clam chowder, making his way out of the bowl. Trying to make a mess all over your shirt. And I think we have some spring tournament challenges going on in chat, where Burt Reynolds and Darkmoon think they're both going to be the one, the only 0-6. Like, guys, there can be more than one. It's possible. It's unlikely. We had Invis 2 in Melmond, and we'll have to see if I'm actually going to enter or not. Oh no, Cyranus, have you entered our spring tournament yet?
I absolutely have. Pretty much as soon as it was announced, I was like, I'm in there. I don't expect to do well, but I'll be there.
And Vorpal -4, I mean, why do you even need a -4 on that thing? It's a pool noodle, just throw it from sky, throw it in the window and watch it fall. Probably won't hurt anybody on the way down.
Yeah, with that -4, it's really a pool noodle, because that also lowers the item's crit, and that is all the Vorpal has going for.
Yeah, no, it's... And our flags here, we are up to 250%, although we clamped is tri-state, so we don't know whether whether our bosses are clamped or not. 250% is a little bit low for just straight using the Vorpal. Although if you didn't have that XCal +5, I'd certainly consider it. But it just doesn't hold a candle to that XCal in this case.
We sure get some weird things with this random item magic and blurst weapons. We got ourselves a harm 4 -5 hammer.
Well, there's no white mage. I mean, you're only ever going to use it for the spell anyway.
I just find the naming conventions funny, just because you end up with some weird numbers that...
Yeah. Oh, that's nice to find. Catmen have blizzard. It's getting cold in here. So put on all the fur coats.
Yeah, no thank you. I don't like Catmen on a good day when they roll nothing. I certainly don't want to see them with blizzard.
And Danny takes him down with a second nuke? Again, that red mage having the ribbon, having all of the armor, that opal bracelet. That's really paying off for Dengwoo and allowing him to make it through without having to restart some of these dungeons. Oh, thanks, Greggly Puff. I mean, an XCal +5 is just good enough to make our resident black belt expert consider not using a black belt. Or maybe not using a black, maybe he's actually just going to bring a fighter.
There is something wrong with this randomizer today. It gave us 2 XCal +5. This is not what I would call a low wealth item randomization, but more power to it.
And yes, chat, that is absolutely perfect, strats. We found 2 XCal +5s. It's time to reset and re-roll your party for 2 fighters. 2 fighters and 3 thieves, because we found 3 katana +3s. Man, that makes me actually think about entering the spring tournament a little bit if you guys are going to roll like that.
The other solution, which I actually haven't seen a seed played this way yet, is combining blurst weapons with tavern mode.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it's certainly an option, and it's one of those things. I guess we're still not used to the blurst weapons enough yet. I certainly am not. But you change what you're doing, and we slowly add complications to it. And we actually see that Harm 4 hammer in use. Well, Lifereboot is going a different way than Dengwoo is digging Earth Cave finds the slab and the tail. Wow, what a packed room. And 5,000 gold.
Yeah, that slab, we don't know. It could lead to the rod today. It could be one of the last required items, but that tail is certainly a good find because the sooner you get that XCal 5 online, the better.
And are we gonna see this? Is this gonna be, we have shuffled doctors, and there's Bahamut. Yep, the tail is useful, but you don't get that slab translation. I guess if he got both, he was guaranteed to find one doctor he needed there.
Yes, because we've already turned in the herb to the medic, so either way, you were going to be turning something in now.
Yeah, here I was hoping you know, I mean, it's an After Dark stream. I can be my normal chat software. I'm hoping for the runners to go through the worst possible of all seasons.
It looks like at some point Lifereboot did pick up a gold ring, and they are negative today. So, probably won't be buying too many up.
Okay, question in chat. Did we see a ferry check? I know Dengwoo went up to Gaia, but I didn't see him actually check the ferry.
I'm trying to remember what she had. I'm pretty sure I saw him talk to her.
Gloves -3. Best armor in the game. Oh, Fairy was the one that had the pool noodle. We got so distracted by how awful that Vorpal was that we stopped, we didn't pay attention to the important fact, which is that a tiny fairy was free. And this is why Sky is paying off, just finding those eyes, you know, one shot, 1500 experience. There's another one, they're right there waiting for you. Okay, I guess if your red mage or your regular thief hit them, then they're not so tasty. They do have Blizzard, but only 150 hit points, so.
Yeah, they also stunned the fighter. It looks like they had stun touch as well. But still, it is almost free experience. I'll take it.
Yep, and Lifereboot, after getting that promotion, heads right back down to Earth and is checking a few more chests. Is that the Opal Helm that's -4? Yuck. So,
Yeah.
not quite what you want Opal armor for.
Yeah, with the Cure 4 helm being positive today, we probably shouldn't be wearing that.
And these giants have Bane. Taking out most of Lifereboot's party, he manages to get away. Picks up that Opal Helm -4. Lifereboot should have seen that Cure 4 helmet from Ice, so I don't know why he's wearing the Opal Helm instead. Yeah, those giants turned his whole party into poison smoke. Poof. And here they come again.
That's alright. That ribbon and that katana are putting in work. He'll be alright.
Made it down to the next floor. Start some free checks. Head over to our vampire.
Ding, checking out the worst floor of Sky. This is the only one that I really don't like checking the chests on.
That's nice link shot. And Dengwoo finds one of those helmets and doesn't even look at it twice.
I believe Dengwoo already has 2 of them.
Well, he has 2 of the Cure 4 helmets. But does he have 2 of the Opal helmets?
Oh, no, probably not. I imagine he'd be abandoning the Opal helmet.
Yeah, that's the one that I meant that he wasn't even looking at. And Dengwoo pulling out the Bane strats. This is classic Deng Nation. You know, you see Undertaker walk the rope. You see Deng pull out the insta-kill spells when there's absolutely no reason to. That is classic Deng Nation.
If Lifereboot still only has 1 of those Cure 4 helms, he may be wearing the Opal on his knight just so that the ninja can wear the Cure 4.
You're making entirely too much sense here. This is After Dark. I'm, at least 1 sheet to the wind, so we don't have to make sense anymore.
Nothing but tea for me tonight. Maybe I should make another one.
And there's a second Sun Sword. Man. Handing out weapons, just being stingy on armor tonight. And yes, Bert, this is low treasure scaling. Yeah, even with low treasure scaling, it's kind of weird to get 2 ribbons, 2 X-Kells, and 2 Sun Swords. So,
yeah,
maybe
there's
something we should
an
look
abundance
into.
of treasure out there.
Yeah, I mean, it is randomizer, so random things are going to happen, and which includes streaks and things that are not percentage plays, but we'll have to just keep going and see what happens. Lifereboot here is headed into the Dwarf Armory, picking up, I believe there's a chime in here. And some more of those awful catmen getting the nuke. So we're a little over an hour in now. And what I see is, so Dengwoo is in rod hunt mode. Not quite ice rod, but different randomizer, so it's just rod hunt. Although he could use a tail, certainly, that we know is in Earth 2, south chest. And he needs to fill out a couple more orbs, 3 orbs to be exact. Or does he need all 4? He needs all 4. Oh, Dengwoo needs Oxiel while Cyranus has Oxiel. Lifereboot has... Yeah. Dengwoo got it from Canaria Locked, and Lifereboot is about to pick it.
Thank you,
I don't
chat.
know what...
Can always count on chat to point those things out when we forget.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I didn't know why I thought you were running this, but...
I'm pretending to run it in my mind. That's close enough.
Okay, but I'm sure you skipped all those damaged poison mummies.
Definitely. I never saw them. I'm already in Topher.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh boy. Apparently we have Sky Maze on tonight. Although it looks like it was a very easy sky maze. Lucky Dengwoo.
Dengwoo managed to pick the right directions to go. And we are in the Bridge of Destiny, and with these fights, we have time to get your bless RNGs in chat for our Lord and Savior, the one and only ED209. Well, these sorcerers swinging cremate, not quite death touch, but still, that'll hurt.
Bert wishing for the cheeky marsh key locked checks. If the rod's down there, we may not see it for a while.
Yeah, Lifereboot, checking out the Elven Treasury while we keep an eye on Dengwoo and hope that he finds the robot chip. Yeah, I haven't begun to start tracking this seed. There are 14 loose items, and we've found at least 4 or 5, but could be more than that.
Yeah, it would be a really hard seed to actually track for certainty just because of the randomized treasure mixed with the fact that some of the incentive items are also item magic weapons and just magic weapons, so there may be multiple. You don't know if you found the incentivized one or an extra random one. So it may still be loose out there, or as our restreamers pointed out, they think it's probably behind the slab.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there are any other NPCs out there. So we've done Gaia. I mean, really, I think you're right. I think the slab is probably our last remaining incentivized location. And Smithy McBeard Sword. Or Beardy McSwordsmith. Oh, and there's our robot chicken swinging hard, knocking out Danny with one shot. No bless RNGs in chat, and we still get it, and we get a fast, and we get a blizzard.
We did not need any bless RNGs today. That war mech was guaranteed.
Shh. Let me have my dreams and my memes. Black mage down, red mage down. Fighter in that last spot, and nuclear. Those Cure 4 hats are coming in useful. That thief keeping the fighter up. And the fighter just pecking away, pecking away. Have another 140 damage while the fighter takes another 400 damage. 6 hits for 6 damage, and a second nuclear comes out of Warmech. That is why Ed209 is not someone you mess with.
Yep, and that's the second boss we've seen today. So that, I don't know, bosses might be clamped based on what we're seeing out of Warback. Doesn't have to be, but they might be.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I still wouldn't call that, because we only did 400 or 500 damage, and vanilla Warmech is 1,000 hit points, while all of the damage from that was skills, and actually vanilla skills,
and some pretty strong punches.
Yeah, the armor, I don't know about the evade yet. I'll have to get a good look at how high Dengwoo's levels actually are. But he looks to be, what, mid-20s? Upper 20s with almost 500 hit points on his fighter.
Yeah, it felt clamped, but I mean, even if it's not clamped, all the stats can still possibly roll high, so we don't know for sure yet.
Oh, no, he's only right around level 20. So getting his thief to 20, getting his black mage to 21 there on the last. And Life Reboot, we know this is a smart play, making their way through ordeals. Gonna pick up the Sun Sword and the Cube. And Life Reboot was the one that did that metal slime grind. But only level 15, 16 there, it looks like.
Yeah, he didn't grind it a whole lot. He just got a couple levels to help him get started there.
Yep, used the nuke charges while you had them. Taking that cube, heading over to Onrak and the waterfall, where we'll find the loot.
And hopefully that Oasis shop, hopefully he goes over there to check that.
Alright, Astos had the crown, which led to, or we gave the crown to Astos, which gave us the crystal.
Which I believe is where our floater came from.
So yes, we kind of want that.
And he does check the Oasis, so that'll be good for him.
Yeah, Matoya had the TNT, which led us to the floater. That was the missing step.
Right. There was an extra step in there.
And absolutely, that's showing some, some wisdom beyond his experience there for Life Reboot, picking up, taking the walk over to the caravan to pick up the crown. That is a great move. As we see on the screen, veteran move. Dengwoo picks up the rod on his way down to the mermaids. Dengwoo is officially in go mode. Thank you for confirming that, Dark Moon. Our restreamer and our tracker tonight for Final Fantasy Randomizer After Dark. Yeah, Dengwoo still wants a tail, even if he has to, well, if he could take it off a mermaid, I'm sure he would.
He's tried to take it from a couple of these mermaids I've seen. I'm sure he wants the tail. I'm not sure if he'll keep checking for it or not, though. He may just go mode through everything. Although he is still checking mermaid floor, I don't know that he'll check Earth.
Yeah, that room that it's in Earth is a little bit out of the way. It's not horrible, but it does take a little bit of work to get to, so we'll see when he gets there. I'm sure he's gonna go meet a squid and make some taco, or I'm not sure what squid is. That's octopus, but some sushi for us.
I thought he was making a squid taco, and I would have been okay with that.
I had a friend of mine that used to make that joke and play that as a prank on people that didn't know it very well.
Offering them taco and then giving them squid?
Giving them
octopus?
octopus, yeah.
Yes, that's fantastic. That's grade A stuff there.
Well, and then, there's those of us that are silly enough, we're gonna eat it no matter what it is, so.
Oh, absolutely. I love octopus. And squid. So, hopefully he dices up Kraken and prepares us some dinner.
Yeah, he keeps running into this Wiz-Zahag, Red Zahag pack that is unrunnable and just using up those spell charges, wasting his time, wasting some resources.
That's what it does. Unfortunately, tonight it does appear to be unrunnable. That's something that I do believe is fixed here on the beta version, that it is not always unrunnable anymore.
Yeah, that'll be great to see where they're uncoupled from this is the B-side encounter of a boss fight, so yeah, previously they'd been been linked, but our fantastic devs have made that change, and we have some sync with the nukes on both sides. Well, it's sort of linked to a boss fight, Dark Moon. It's certainly linked to a necessary unrunnable fight. And we get not quite in sync nukes there for the second time. Lifereboot making the play up Sky, and we'll see how Lifereboot does with Warmac, and certainly Deng made a smart play to jump out and save halfway up, so he didn't lose a lot of the items and the experience.
Yeah, with that XCal +5 and that +3 Katana, Lifereboot may find it to be a very different encounter. However, with his lower levels, some of his HP totals are not looking great. That first nuke might roll through and just end his hopes there.
Yeah, he's got enough to last through the first nuclear, but the second certainly is enough to knock his whole party down. But will he actually make it there? Those two mummies taking out half his party. Looks like Dengwoo is hunting trap tiles over here and on his way down to Kraken. He's looking for encounters like this one, the Shark and Eye tile, or the Shark and Eye encounter, which is one of the higher experience fights, especially high experience for how much work you have to put into it.
Yeah, our spike tiles tonight are only shuffled, so, well, there it is. Dengwoo finds the eye tile. That's a solid find. That's probably definitely one of the better ones when it comes to vanilla tile.
Yeah, he finds it and he promptly turns and runs away. So I don't know if he was looking for like just metal slimes or if he's thinking he's gonna go down to Kraken and come back for it. If I was checking tiles, that's probably one I would take.
Yeah, I could see just taking it. Although he may not be ready to kill off his party, and that's more of a single character grind than a full party grind.
Yeah, that'll deliver almost 6,000 experience to his full party, or to a single character rather. Yeah, it's a good question. Is how far do you grind and when do you grind? Do you grind here on your full party? Do you just go down to one character and knock that fighter up?
I'd
Especially-
probably go down to the fighter and the red mage and just do a two-man grind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just slow, but I'd probably have ground that eye tile for, I mean, at least 24, 25, something along those lines. Yeah, but I would have taken the whole party and maybe just dropped one of my characters. Probably the thief, if anybody.
He may be hoping to get the tail and promote before he does his grind, just so that he can get a couple of spell charges on that night and then.
Yep, and here he's got some defensive and some buff strats coming out. Fast one on the red mage. And that'll be the last thing Danny does this fight.
I believe he was buffing the red mage because it has ruse, and he's hoping to get it defensive enough to actually be able to tackle some of these punches.
Kraken 1 having a damage poison, so he is putting some ruses on that mage, but he's used 3 charges of fear rather. A little lock. Five hits for what, 20 damage? And we see Tempers come out 10 hits for almost 400 damage, and Kraken 1 has Sleep Touch. It's not bad enough that he's gonna hug you for 400 damage. He's also gonna put you to sleep afterwards.
Yeah, if he manages to land a crit and get that sleep touch off, that could spell disaster, because his evade ain't gonna do a whole lot after that.
Oh, there we got some damage. 6 hits for 440, 6 for 343. That ribbon is putting in work on Asher, and Asher, man modes Kraken, takes him down. The rest of the party bought him time for some defensive buffs. Those ruses you were talking about, and Kraken goes down. Dinner for everybody. And Dengwoo is the first one to light an orb. It is the water orb at 1 hour 29 minutes into this seed.
Okay, I'm back. I had to set myself straight. Dark Moon is breaking me tonight.
It is Final Fantasy After Dark, so I guess Dark Moon's allowed. We can't hold him to actual standards. It's his channel.
It is his channel. He can make all the terrible puns he wants.
Okay, Lifereboot is... Oh, Dengwoo is skipping chat. Oh no, there he goes. He's checking a couple. Is Dengwoo gonna check the right one? Check the first room, the top right room. Is he gonna go down and left and check this other room after he finishes playing with Spider?
There's a lot of good reasons to do it that we know already, but it looks like he's skipping it, which, I mean, that's metal slimes he's missing, the tail, the slab.
Well, he's missing the tail and slab. The metal slimes he's gonna find when he goes into Volcano.
Oh,
They were the Agama tile.
You're right.
It's like, I remember some things in this seed, like there's 4 warriors all come bearing an Agama. There's an Excal +5, Vorpal is useless. Right, those are all specific to this seed, right? And no, Bert, Dengwoo has not been to Volcano yet. He found the ship in ice and went off to see the world and ignored Volcano right there.
There's been a lot of clutch fights tonight where these 1 or 2 light wars with ribbons are just barely surviving a fight. Always that red mage, thankfully, to bring the rest of the party back up.
Yeah, and Dengwoo's gonna check Earth 4. So I wonder if maybe, so this is a strat I've seen and used sometimes, is if you dig Earth, you go through the vampire chest, and you full clear Earth 4, and, and then kill Lich, only to come back in, because Earth 1 and Earth 2 are relatively quick checks, where Earth 4 is a long walk down there to get. So, but he did check that one area, so I don't know if he's going to come back for it.
Alright, we got 3 Cure 4 helms now. Why don't we just have Cure 4 on everybody? Come on, give us one more.
Yeah, and then you run into the problem, which is inventory space. It's never a problem for weapons, always a problem for armor. Oh, those nachos are making me hungry. And Lifereboot's eating them right up, on his way up. Here's some more nachos. And we'll see in just a minute. Okay, Dengwoo checking the self area in Earth 4. 19 and 21 are the levels for Lifereboot. Let's see if the clam chowder can turn Warmech into soup or gets eaten.
Warmech chicken soup seems a bit crunchy.
Was he thinking about confused, and he's just looking through his options, taking it slow, figuring out what to do? And Warmech, after that blizzard, goes to the back line, hits that black mage and knocks him out with one. 4 hits for 46 damage, and here comes the first nuclear.
Those are some low rolls.
And he's casting spells, but not using the right items. Needs to use those Cure 4 helmets and get turn order. There's one of them. There were some good crits, but the fighter goes down. The ninja using some invis strats. And the invis doesn't matter. Warmech punches him in the face. And then punches the red mage. Red wizard, sorry. And that Warmech, you are right. I hope that's a clamped Warmech, because if that's not a clamped Warmech, that's really scary.
Yep, Warmech has turned away both of our racers today. They're both going to be hitting up Sky last, probably. Meanwhile, I was so caught up with that Warmech, I did not even see Lich. I assume he killed him. Our tracker says he killed him, but I never saw him.
I mean, do you go into Lich at this level? There's some purple curtains in the way, you brush them aside, you walk through, you light your orb, that's about it. And yeah, and our tracker restreamer Dark Moon is absolutely right. Dengwoo did not go back in looking for that tail, and he is searching a lot of chests, especially this entire floor volcano. These are not the high chest density checks that he's making right now.
Sure they are. This is a great floor volcano. I mean, maybe not that hairpin. That hairpin sucks to check. But the floor itself is fun.
Oh no, the floor is great. It's these northern chests, the hairpin chests, like you were saying. Those are the ones that we're worried about. And this is Lifereboot's chance to catch back up, steal some time back from Dengwoo, heading down to the mermaid. And making one wrong turn, and then running into the same Sahag pack well, I wouldn't say it gave Dengwoo any trouble, but certainly annoyed him.
Oh, for sure. If Dengwoo is unwilling to abandon the tail idea, that may cost him at this point the fact that he orphaned the chest that has it in it.
Yeah, I mean, with a Sun Sword +5, Sun Sword I would already be comfortable going to Topher with, so that's certainly something to keep in mind. And yeah, every minute, every chest he checks that's not in Earth is on a time at this point. Lifereboot, running into this awful encounter, and gets away cleanly. Ghosts are probably one of my least favorite enemies in the game, even if you only ever see them in a couple of floors well, I've only seen them in a couple of floors in this shrine. They always seem they scaled a little bit wrong for some reason.
I do believe they have the highest base attack in the game for standard enemies, which, is a little weird coming from ghosts.
Yeah. And Lifereboot picks up the rod. And is just missing one set of items to... Well, actually, even that set of items won't matter, I don't think. So, I mean, there's the floater chain, which I don't remember if he picked up or not, but he certainly has the loot from the robot, so... Then it's just a question of getting the orbs lit and getting through that Warmac.
Getting through that Warmac might be the trick.
I mean, we do talk about gatekeepers in Topher all the time. Well, maybe our gatekeeper for this seed is not in the Temple of Fiends Revisited. Maybe it's Warmac.
You certainly see the Warmac sooner, and with the vanilla spike tiles, I mean, that gives us, an Agama tile out there, the metal slime tile, and the eye tile. Beyond those three, I don't know of any that I would necessarily want to grind up very high.
There are times where I grind the mummy tile, but with that damage poison mummies, that kind of takes that off the map. And I was trying to remember, I think it might be a side B encounter. That's the vampire pack with the Whiz Vamp. The more I think about it, the more I think that's a side B trap tile.
I think so.
Right, well, here Dengwoo is, and he's gonna find the metal slime tile. Our other stick is a mute -5 stick. So, you just smack people and tell them to hush. Oh, and that is Dengwoo using these these lava tiles as a start to his grind. Not only is he doing metal slime grind, he's gonna kill off his other party members. Oh, he's just grinding the red wizard, or the red mage.
Solo red mage grind. That's interesting.
Well, let's analyze that for a minute. So, his red mage can certainly bring everybody else back up. Oh, he's gonna do both wizards now. Maybe. And certainly more spell charges. The red mage can use the sun sword. So maybe this is when he's given up on the tail and the promotion and just saying, okay, well, my red wizard is going to level up, and that's who's going to carry me through Temple of Fiends, since he can ruse, can fast, can wield a sword just as good as the fighter's sword.
Well, the sword's just as good. The one wielding it, his arms just aren't quite as buff as the fighter.
Yeah, fair enough. And on our right side, Lifereboot has gone through Kraken, made him into little pieces, and lit his first orb of the game. I believe that's his first orb.
I do believe you're correct.
I know he did some exploring in Earth, but I was trying to remember if he actually killed Lich or not.
He
it's always
did
hard to
not
tell
have the rod at that point.
Ah, good point. So no, he did not kill Lich. Now there we go, 13k XP for that red mage solo grinding. I'm gonna give him the Cure 4 helm. So I'm gonna use up all these nuke charges.
Yep, looks like he's looking for larger packs. He's not wanting to waste nuke charges on the smaller packs of just 3 or so.
That 4 hits, 4 damage he doesn't like, but we'll see what he does with the crit. Just enough to top off that nuke. Hits 11k damage. And here Lifereboot heads over to Northwest Castle. We know this is, I believe, not required, but this will start him on the chain to get to that floater.
And that is the problem with doing a solo grind like that. Those metal slimes still hit for like 70 sometimes and completely took out that red mage thanks to a bad turn order.
Yeah, and I understand why he wouldn't want to do a two-man grind at that point, but maybe that's the smart play to keep the fighter up with that big stick. And also that, all that armor and all those hit points to shield that red mage. Yeah, and here Lifereboot flying through the earth floor, except for those Dengbats. I don't know if those Dengbats are part of Deng Nation, but they certainly seem like they're on his side for a little bit. Blocking the path.
They're doing their look too obvious today, though. They're getting out of the way before long. None of these hallway bats where you have to just sit there and watch it sit in the hallway for minutes at a time before it'll leave.
Yeah, I still haven't gone back and watched that VOD, but apparently there was a tournament and there have been some changes to how the bats are spawned in Earth because of some incidents with these bats in hallways.
I've heard some horror stories about that as well. I believe that was back before we created the party bat room and stuck a bunch of party bats in this room in the top left corner that no one ever goes in except to show it off.
Yeah, and Lifereboot just ran by it. And while we know that a giant robot is the boss in and the gatekeeper of this seed, I don't think that you are the bot we're looking for in chat, so. And we'll just keep going and heading on down to the Lich floor. And I guess in our grind we have 2 mages up for now, splitting that XP. I guess
Not
he
for
doesn't
long
have a...
if he puts that black mage up front like that.
Well, and what you said about the smaller packs earlier, you notice he's using the nuke from the black wizard, but the red wizard is just fighting, just swinging that sword.
Yeah,
So,
just burning off the black's charges before he lets it die.
and I think there's a curtain here on the right side. We see Cake come out. Is Lifereboot allowed to do that? Is he allowed to steal strats from Dengwoo? Because that was a something I would see out of Dengwoo using cake and giving Lich a piece of his birthday cake. Either way, Lifereboot lights a second orb, ties up the orbs, and is headed over toward the sages, maybe?
Hard to say. Well, that is true. The sages were kind of stingy and wanted us to actually kill Lich before they'd give us an item today. So they might have something for it.
I mean, they want us to work for our presents? I mean, just give us the loot, man. Well, not the loot, but give us the goods, give us the toys. And I see Danny's finally down for a nap, leaving Asher alone to rack up this experience.
Looks like he took the time to pick up some Lit 2 at level 6. I don't know that he's ever actually going to cast that on Lifereboot's side, but you never know. You might run out of charges.
I thought that was trying to get life for the Red Wizard.
Oh, he definitely picked up life on the Red Wizard.
And then we get our second shirt. It's a Lock 1 shirt.
If these bosses do turn out to be clamped as it appears, that may come in handy. Sometimes, you know, your wizards just get knocked out of the fight and you haven't got all your locks up yet. And these evasive bosses can be a real problem.
Yeah, and that can also be fantastic armor. I think that might have been both Lock and +1 shirt. So, but I don't know if that was the white shirt or the black shirt that it's taken the place of. Here we see this Phantom. Is Dengwoo going to run away as easily Yes, he is. He's going to get that root. While the clam chowder makes his way down, makes his way through the lava floors, headed down for a date with Carrie. Carrie the Merilith.
We may see some side-by-side carry action.
Looks like our bulls need to go see an eye doctor. They're squinting a bit. And Dengwoo heals his way up before taking on Carrie. His third fiend. Lifereboot. I don't know if Lifereboot's going to get there in time, but he's not far behind. Lifereboot going up for a quick grind while he's on the way. Might as well pick up some XP. Stop it while you're top off the tank. Use those charges. And Carrie became terrified and then knocked out the ninja 10 hits for 387. That does not seem like a normal carry to me.
Deng is really enjoying the Deng strats with this spear axe. He really wants a boss to run away from him today.
You can say a lot of things about Dengwoo, but you can never say that he's not entertaining, that he doesn't give us a good show. But that might also be his Achilles heel. Lifereboot is catching up in levels. And has that promotion, so you never know when that sort of overconfidence, that sort of playing around can actually, come back and bite you.
He's confident in these strats. He hasn't turned away from them yet. I think he's going to get this.
Oh, there he actually attacked. 10 hits for 325, not quite enough to kill that fighter. Where Lifereboot's hitting level 22, level 23, grinding their way up. Look like they popped out, or he popped out for a save. Does not want to lose all that experience. And here we come flying through the lava floors again. Almost a wrong turn. And Fear 4 yet again. And Dengwoo is all in on the Deng strats. And he's just run out.
Yeah, I was about to say, unfortunately, with that knight dead, so is our hopes for seeing Carrie run away in fear today.
Yep, and then the red mage pulls out the sun sword. I thought I saw 10 hits for 845. Killing Carrie, lighting his third orb, the fire orb. And now Dengwoo is headed back to Mirage Tower for a second date with Warmech. Does he have the levels? Is he going Red Wizard strats this time? Oh, he's turning in the Ruby first.
Still looking for that tail, but will he go back to Earth?
Yeah, he's looking for the tail, the slab, and the adamant. hoping that either the slab or the adamant lead to tail, which we know that they don't, but he does not.
That is true. If he went to Earth and grabbed the slab before the tail and then ran out to turn in the slab, it would just be heartbreaking.
Yeah, I don't see that happening though, because like we saw with Lifereboot, you literally you don't take a step, so they're between the two chests, so there's no chance of an encounter there. There's no reason to not take them both. Even if it was in the other chest in that room, you take the extra 5 steps and go check it.
You do, but I've seen things happen in races. You don't always make the correct logical decision.
Fair enough. I mean, this is an Iron Gold matchup, so there is status on the line, there is ranking, and there is the chance to challenge our champion, Spellzap. Or any of the other runners. So I guess this is a good time to pull it up while we're watching Dengwoo reclimb and watching Lifereboot grind. This is an Iron Goal Iron Goal League matchup as part of the Heavy Metal Championship Series. We have had a lot of action in this league that has pulled in a lot of runners and given some new life. There have been a lot of different formats. We've had an 8-hour match between 2 runners to see who could defeat the most seeds within that 8-hour time. We've had a fatal 4-way. And I'm sure they're thinking of other different strategies and different types of matches. We've had some recent matches. Just this weekend, we had Caleb challenging Zenobian. That was a 12th place versus 3rd place matchup with Caleb taking the win. We have Spellzap defending against the number 1 ranked challenger El Markin and successfully defending. Those were both Friday night. On Saturday, Caleb defended his spot against his new ranking as 3rd place against our restreamer and tracker Dark Moon. And then earlier today, Gregly Puff defended his 4th place against Derendres. So we are seeing matches all the time. We have some more matches scheduled. Tomorrow we'll see Will Bloodworth will face off against Gouda 632. Spellzap will face off against Caleb with some hot mess flags. Caleb has been on a streak lately, on a tear, so we'll see if Spellzap is up to the challenge. Edgeworth is facing Ragnarok, so sort of an old school versus new school matchup. And I believe we even had some matches set today during our stream, so we'll see if those come to fruition and when they're scheduled. All of this can be found in the Iron Goal channel of our FFR Final Fantasy Randomizer Discord.
Yeah, speaking of those hot mess flags, that's also a dab match, which is a double anti-bingo. Another thing that a lot of people have really been into with the Iron Goal matches, and just goes to show the range of all the different kinds of races that we are getting to participate in that goes beyond the standard spring tournament matches that I think some of us were starting to get a little burnt out on practicing for, which is not a good thing because we all want to be fresh when the spring tournament starts here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, we have one more week of signups for the spring tournament. My understanding is that this is the biggest spring tournament ever, and have needed to add an extra round to Swiss. So we will see how we do. We have a round of Swiss tournament, which means that the first round everybody's matched randomly, and then it's the winners are against the winners, the losers are against the losers. So you're always facing someone close to, if not your same record. And from there we'll place into the playoffs. And last year's spring tournament was amazing. That was about the time I joined the community. If you have not seen a spring tournament, it's amazing, and there is as much FFR and as much drama as you could ask for.
Yeah, this will be my first one. I was not around last year, so I'm definitely looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of races.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know I learned a huge amount, and so I was able to come in with a couple of steps up just by having watched all those races. So you never know what you're going to learn by seeing those, or by participating, putting yourself to the test, and having a great time in chat, cheering for your friends, commiserating, or maybe cheering if something awful happens. Like when Dengwoo wipes to this war mech again, we'll feel bad for him a little bit, but we'll probably tease him at the end too.
I won't feel bad for him because I've decided to change my cheering for Lifereboot, since he's doing the grind that I wanted to do with both the fighter and the red mage.
Oh, fair enough. And actually, I'm gonna go check on something real quick, partner, so give me a moment.
Absolutely. Chat chiming in that there's no way Deng beats this chicken. I wouldn't go that far, but I don't have him favored in the matchup. He's got that fighter at 500 HP and that Cure 4 helmet. There's always a chance for victory. Although it appears that HP threshold is just barely enough to keep surviving these hits. If anyone else gets punched, they're going out.
Well, meanwhile, these helmets do not run out of spell charges, and Asher is rusing up and tempering up, and I think that's his strat. Asher's the one with all the levels. We've got some Lock 2 going out. Greg gets punched in the face and goes down. He did not have those 600 hit points to be able to withstand that.
Survived with 6 HP. Woo.
5 for 258. And we get we need another bruise on that red mage, or red Morlock 2, and we'll see how this goes here.
Yeah, unfortunately, he eventually lost the turn order battle, and the fighter went down, so that red mage is now in a little bit more danger. At least he's slightly out of nuke range.
Well, he's also buffed up, and nuclear does a little bit less damage than nuke does. So, down goes Warmac. Congratulations, Dengwoo. He's beaten Warmac, and on to Tiamat with a full party.
Lifereboot still doing his grind. Looks like he just hit 29-ish. So, wonder how far he'll take.
Yeah, Blizzard came first, so he got about 4 rounds with just punches and no skills, where Nuclear was the second and third skill in line, where Blizzard was the first one. So we saw that Blizzard, we didn't see a Nuclear. So, yeah, so a couple of breaks went Dengwoo's way, and that gave him time to get that red mage all buffed up, and when you're hitting for 500 a turn, then you're going to make. Certainly health was above that 1,000, so somewhere between about 1,200 and 1,800. So this Tiamat fight's going a little slowly too, while we're buffing up, but and Dengwoo making all the use he can out of those Cure 4 helm. And level 30, Lifereboot stops the grind to save at level 30 on both the fighter and the red wizard. Or sorry, the knight and the red wizard. Is heading out while Tiamat gets Bracken into pieces.
Did he kill Carrie?
I did not see Lifereboot kill Carrie this round, but maybe they had killed Carrie on a previous set. Because that's the second or third time Lifereboot's been down there to grind.
Yeah, I'll have to check his inventory next if I can catch it when he opens his status screen.
Yeah, and Dengwoo headed down for the Marsh locked chest. Now, it's a spicy play, just not the wrong one. Or not the right one.
Yeah, Deng really wants that tail, and it's... when he finds out where it is and that he abandoned it, it's probably going to eat on him a little.
Well, maybe after he finds the tail, we can pull him in and ask him how he feels about it.
I'm not certain he's going to.
Well, in that case, we'll get him for a traditional post-race interview. Not a big deal. So, but we are 2 hours and 10 minutes into this seed. Lifereboot pushing their way through this 14 loose item seed. Has found what they need to, and making their way back up to like either the third or fourth orb. I'm hoping this is the fourth, but we know that Warmech was training for this fight. Warmech was ready.
Yeah, but now he's ready also.
Yeah. The last time they were up, Warmech ran through the Light Warriors like a bone saw. But a few more levels, and we'll see how this goes this round.
Dengwoo gets looped. May have forgotten that he didn't do the slab yet, because he hasn't found the slab yet.
Yep, where are you headed, Deng? I mean, I'm thinking he's just about full clear of the game, except for ice, because he's cleared Mirage and Sky, he's cleared Waterfall, Volcano, Ice. And yeah, thank you again, Dark Moon, for catching that Lifereboot does have the fire orb lit, so this will be the 4th orb.
And Dengwoo abandons the tail.
He's got more than enough power for Topher unless something is very nasty.
I mean, if these are clamped, and it certainly appears that way so far, it could be.
Yeah, and there we get our stone mages. Find some little weak snicks. Head on down the stairwell, running away from the zombie dragons.
Taking it nice and slow through Warmack and Tia is nice and slow, but if you have to do that all the way through Topher, through, 4 bosses, 5 bosses if you don't count, or 4 if you don't count Lich, because who counts Lich?
And Dengwoo resets
if you wipe
out.
on one of the late ones, that's a lot of time to lose.
Yeah, absolutely, and that fast was level 3, same as Nuke, so every random encounter is just another reason for you to lose those spell charges and use them up and not have them when you really need them. So Dengwoo's stopping, he's gonna go check the sages. That's why he reset out. He remembered that he hadn't gotten the item from them, but this is the lock shirt. So we know this, yep, lock shirt +1. And while he'll take it, we have Lifereboot pulling Warmack and learning that resistance is futile. So we'll see who gets assimilated. And I would say that's one of the places where you see an experience, and something I've certainly noticed, where what I see from the top tier runners is that they're thinking about their strategy for the fight before they get to the fight. Where newer runners, like even myself, we're just getting in there and we're saying, I guess maybe not newer, but less experienced or less elite runners, we go in there and we figure out what to do once we're in the fight, and we have to adjust once we're in the fight. So that hesitation is certainly something I notice and I'm trying to work on.
Absolutely.
Lifereboot pulled out the nuke strats, and the nuke strats were not enough. That Warmack just had more health than those nukes could do. We have both runners treading over their own feet, running back in, trying to get through these catmen, and we have seen a lot of blizzards tonight. I thought it was spring and daylight savings and all that, and here comes the snow.
The cold never bothered me anyway. At least that's how I imagine the red mages are singing today, as they've been wearing that ribbon the entire season.
And here I thought you were going to let all the puns go. I never thought you'd be the one to do that to me. Hey, Burt Reynolds makes a point in chat, if you're going to have to grind this far, then yeah, absolutely, black belts are great for a reason. They're slow to start, but if you get them going, if you get them up to these levels 30 and 32, then yeah, you just hold A, you give them the ribbon, or maybe even don't give them a ribbon and just let them blow through stuff. Hope you have nukes to take care of all the random encounters on your way.
It's hard with blurst weapons, though. I mean, part of you always wants to hope in your heart that you'll get that +5 Masa, that +5 X-Cal. And today we did get a +5 X-Cal, which may make that knight more on par with a 32 black belt than usual.
Yeah, that's a good point. And the other big difference I see between the knight and the black belt is how many loose items are you going to check? The knight needs the equipment, the black belt doesn't, but if you're checking everything anyway, and you're saying something about ignoring Lich, and you see what Lich just gave Dengwoo?
I did not, but I do see he's still alive.
Lich just gave Dengwoo a big old shot of nuclear right in the face, trying to give him some sunburn.
Unfortunately, he followed it up with Lit too, which is not exactly deadly.
Yeah, but that is 3 of the 4 nuclears in the pool. But Dengwoo, as you said, survived, walks right on through, even with what the nuclear thrown at us. And heading on down, topping himself off before he pulls carry. And we have Saint Von Jester, one half of Team Poison sound effects, rating us with a party of 14. Thank you, SVJ. Thank you for joining us. This is the IRONGOL Heavy Metal Championship. This is 2 of our contenders fighting for rank. As Dengwoo, Deng Nation, on the left is running his way through Temple of Fiends Revisited, is on his second Fiend refight, while Lifereboot is trying to make it through our guaranteed first gatekeeper of the seed, the robot chicken Wormek, Lord Wormek. And no, I can't talk at this point.
Chat saying the seed's almost finished. We're not certain of that yet. The rest of this Topher could very well put a stop to this and give us another 15 minutes of grind.
Yep, nuclear cure for 3 nukes. And all the fun stuff like Thunder, Swirl, that we haven't seen yet.
As long as that red mage stays alive, there's a hope.
Yeah, see a Fire 2 coming out from Carry, so Lit 2, while Wormek continues going on a tear, and the nuke takes down Wormek, boosting those characters to 32 and 33, so Lifereboot has gotten through there for using up all those nuke charges. But I do remember that Tiamat 1 has a little fight in her, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, exits out and saves. Smart play there.
Yeah, you don't want to have to do that Wormek fight twice.
Yeah, Bert, that's a good point. Life, I do not believe, has gone back to buy spells for the knight. Same thing with the ninja. That fast and nuke are certainly, those are level 3, so those are certainly in range of what the ninja can get a charge or 2 of, and one cast of fast, one extra cast might make the difference deep in Topher.
Oh yeah, definitely should be picking those up on the ninja. and that night, not only can he learn life too, but ruse as well.
Yeah, and if he's got ruse, then yeah, you don't need the red mage strats like Dengwoo is doing.
He'll only have 4 charges, but you can space that out over 2 fights. You really only need 2 of it up to be fairly safe on a night.
Yeah, definitely follow the runners like Dark Moon just put in chat. You have Dengwoo, you have Lifereboot. Both active Final Fantasy racers in our community. Dark Moon is both our restreamer and our tracker tonight, so thank you for putting this version of Final Fantasy Randomizer After Dark on Dark Moon. Handling all of the setup and just letting Cyranus and I sit here and chat with a nice beverage, and you know, I hope you still have a little bit of tea left and come join us. Come give the Duckling program a shot. It's a great new player initiative, and you know, come join the pond. The water's fine.
Kraken opening up with some swirl and a little bit of ink. This is not the gatekeeper Kraken that we normally, well, as racers we normally hope not to see, but as commentators we like to see Kraken punch some people.
Well, there hasn't been a punch yet, but what I noticed is a really high absorb on this Kraken, because we've been getting like 8 hits for 113 damage, so we are not doing a lot of damage to this Kraken. And I don't think I've seen a punch yet. So 7 for 262 with some crits. Brack isn't working. Brack down to a 6% or so chance. Fire 3 doing a little bit of work. But those Cure 4 helmets will certainly take care of that in a round or 2.
I like seeing these Brack strats out of Ding. I hope he gets it.
And there we got some good crits. 460 damage. Brack fails again. And Kraken with the big nuke. No wonder Kraken's been using these skills and spells if it's got a nuke in its pocket.
Ding decides to return the favor. Danny letting loose with a nuke and takes Kraken down.
That's not a nuke. This is a nuke. And Dengwoo with the veteran move here, healing everybody all the way up, using his potions now. Before he heads on down to face Tiamat 2, who is... and we have the highlight on the screen. Yes, that is a veteran move. Do not take a step after fighting that fiend. Heal up first, because the one time you don't heal is the one time you run into that random encounter the very next step, and it finishes off your party. Yeah, Tiamat 2 here, the last of our fiend refights, and the most underrated one in my opinion, because I've seen her be incredibly tough, and if she pulls the right spells, if she pulls the right abilities, she can be just as bad as crap. Yes, Dark Moon. Lifereboot did clear Warmac. And I believe cleared Tiamat. Although I got distracted by something.
Did indeed, yes. I think we were distracted by a Kraken at that time, but after going out and recovering his spell charges from that horrible Warmac, did exit out, come back, killed the Tia, and now is looking to head into Topher in a floaterless seat.
Tiamat with Tornado, that's one of those skills that we're worried about. Lifereboot turns in the crystal for the TNT and decides not to take it any further, resets out, and heads back to Corneria, is about to dive the Temple of Fiends, and we'll see if Tiamat 2 has something stronger than this ink, let's hope, or if Chaos is a beast, then we could have a serious race on our hands again.
The most scary thing I could think of right now, I haven't seen the Cure 4 come out of any of these bosses, and it's out there somewhere. With his not being promoted and having lesser weapons, damage could be a problem if he ends up in a race against Cure 4.
Yeah, Cure 4, fast, 2 nukes, and Tiamat came out and punched the knight in the face for 801 damage, knocking him down. So Tia 2 saw Warmac and has been using Warmac as a sparring partner, is hitting hard, takes out the ninja.
6 hits, 910 damage.
And it turned into a damage race. Asher just barely making it through. Only 2 charges of Life 2 and Ruse left. Those are the same level. So what are you gonna do, Deng? Deng's taking a minute to think about it. While Lifereboot makes their way down, is through the trap tile, through the loot required stairs, and headed their way down to the earth floor. So it looks like the ninja's taking a nap. And these worms have stun touch. Or was it trance the first time? Either way, we got a party. These worms want to hang out and play with Dengwoo. And he's got places to be.
Oh, that's unfortunate. After bringing the knight up, the knight goes right back down, and there's no more life charges to go around. Chat asking if it's reset time. No, you have to give Chaos a shot. You've gotten here. Even if you're just going to throw Brax at him, you have to give him a shot.
Yeah, I mean, for all you know, Kraken rolled at the low end, and I mean, you don't know if somebody was hiding those spells that we're worried about. Yep, Dengwoo moving the invis over. So maybe you've got a couple of let 2s and a couple of inks. And yeah, and here is Lich 2 gonna take. Lich 2 takes the cake. Lifereboot taking the Deng strats to the Deng Nation, giving Lich his birthday cake, and watching him fall into a crack.
Deng throwing a temper and building up those invis stacks. Looks like just a quad X from Chaos, so nothing too worrisome here in the first round.
Chaos not punching very hard. Punched the Black Mage for 100 damage. That is not something to be scared of. And a third invis going down on Asher.
Yeah, after
Lit
I
too.
saw that Black Mage only get punched for 100, I'd probably stop casting invis.
Oh, and there's a second punch. That hit the Black Mage for a reasonable amount. So that's 4 invis charges now, and a fast, and a lock 2 is out.
No temper though, so he's gonna have to swing. He might be able to hit a combat loop, which would certainly lock this up.
5 hits for 220, 4 for 95, 6 for 370. So we're chunking in some damage here. So that it's not like we're hitting for 6 and 20 and, you know, to make it really long, where our only hope is a loop.
Oh, and it looks like we got it. That's 3 in a row. 4 for 155. Fourth one in a row. We're in a loop. He wins.
Yeah, and Lifereboot heading back down. Yeah, Asher 1611 in chat. It looks like you are taking on Chaos and you are taking him down by yourself. No need for Greggly Puff. No need for Mr. App. No need for Danny Wheels. GG Dengwoo. And GG Asher for taking down Chaos at 2 hours and 32 minutes.
Let's drag him right up here into the channel with us.
I'll have to go get him. I can't drag him up here. I can only drag him some other places. So
yeah, I couldn't either.
Oh, he hopped up already.
Welcome, Dengwoo. GG.
What the hell did I get myself involved in?
You have completed a great game and proved your victoriousness over Chaos.
Oh my good. I couldn't even find Tail. Where was Tail?
Yeah, how was that tail?
Do you really want to know?
Yes, because I have a feeling it's in Marsh.
Nope.
No.
Where?
You walked right past
Earth?
it. Yep, Earth
Yeah.
2.
Figures.
The South 3 chests.
It figures. That's the only reason why I was like, after I wiped to Warmech the first time, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll go, check them as I'm going through all these dungeons, hoping for Tail, or else I'm relying upon a ruse with a certain amount of spell cast on a life 2 on a red wizard. There's no way that this could go badly for me.
So how close do you think it really was there?
I'm assuming, really? I don't know, honestly.
Oh, no, I'm just thinking that because we saw you stop and look at your spell charges. And then the worms wanted to party.
Oh my god, the worms almost tilted me. I almost was tilted. I was like, why? I failed 4 runs in a row. I was like, come on! And then my failed grind on the metal slimes were awesome too. Let me tell you, I played outstanding today. I'm hoping.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm hoping Lifereboot is at least having fun, because these flags could tilt you, or the seed would tilt you real quick.
yeah. I mean, there were 3 real gatekeepers in this seed between Warmac and then Kraken 2 and Tia 2.
Kraken 2 hit so hard. Oh my god. I think my knight had 4 invises and he got crit for like 900 or something. No, that was a Tiamat. The Tiamat crit him for like 900. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, Tiamat hit your knight for 801 or something, and then your ninja for 900.
I mean, it's not like they were that well equipped, but I was kind of surprised because I had some invis cast out there and got wrecked. And I was like, all right, guess I'm casting a ruse, which happened to be my, the one ruse, so I couldn't bring up my thief, which then of course means I can't run from the worms, which then means I go into chaos with 2 characters instead of 3 or 4.
It was just enough today, though. I mean, you must have felt good when you saw him end up in that combat loop.
Oh yes, yes. Let me tell you, that was perfect because I got it twice. I got it on there's a Tiamat. I think I got RNG loop too. The Tiamat 1, or is it Warmac? No, it wasn't Warmac.
It would have been Tiamat 1.
Yeah, the Tiamat 1 I got lucky enough to RNG loop with the red mage. So, oh man.
But then you finished Tiamat 1 with the Brack, I thought.
Yeah, of course. Or
I think the Brack failed.
No, it finally did actually hit because I did a bunch of damage and then finally Brack hits. Yeah, no, it was. I can't remember what boss it was. I got a loop on somebody.
Yeah, well,
anyway.
Life Reboot has just made it through Kraken 2.
Nice.
Stop to heal up before heading on down. So Life Reboot does have the tail, so it has those extra spell charges.
If he has Excalibur 5, I mean, oh my god, that thing. I wanted Excal 5 so badly.
Well, there are only 2 of them in this seed. I mean, it was a low treasure seed.
Low treasures, and I managed to find 3 healed 4 helmets, and yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was surprisingly amount of treasure considering it was supposed to have been low. I mean, there were multiple ribbons, multiple Heal 4 shirts, multiple X-Cal.
I got so excited with that Invis shirt that I thought it was actually like an Invis 2 shirt. And then I read it after I wiped because, you know, Metal Slimes, it crit me nonstop. And I read it and I was like, oh, it's not as good as I thought it was going to be.
Okay, Life Reboot is taking on Tiamat 2 with the Brack strats.
I don't blame him. I mean, even a ninja with that Katana 4 would have been nice.
How badly did you want that carry to run away from you?
So badly. I mean, I was like level 31. When I was doing Road to SG Live, I got a carry to run around that levels too, so... After I hit twice, I was like, it's gotta run, right? No. Alright. Fine.
Yeah, you had to have been close. One more fear probably would have done it.
Well, if I remember right at that point, you have... So the math is a little weird on those, but it's... Your RNG is actually a bigger contributor than their morale at that point. So it's really just, do you get the right roll?
Yeah, and if you noticed, I tried to change it up because I kept going really fast with my inputs. Yeah, see, he tore through all this. I spent a lot of time. I kept
he's
trying
managed to run from the worms.
Those darn worms. Real gatekeepers, let me tell you. Oh, I'm gonna watch him. Show me how it's done, Life Reboot.
There we go, pulling chaos at 239.46. We see tempers going on to the knight. See that same quad X coming out early, not having an effect. 2 for 224, another temper goes out, and Invis from that Invis shirt going on the knight. He's putting everything into the knight. Yes, the knight is swinging that X-Cal. So 4 hits for 194. Chaos punches out the ninja. Gets his fast up. Although, I think that was that the Red Wizard that hit 2 hits for 2 damage? And the Red Wizard pumping out heal 3s. I guess he's worried about these spells. We didn't see anything out of Chaos when you fought him, Dang. But yeah, Life Reboot, just buffing that knight, chipping away a little bit harder and a little bit harder. We're at about 40% of base HP right now, starting to use those Cure 4 helms. Another whack, this one a little lighter at 163 damage, 2 hits. More tempers, more damage, 7 hits, 907. Those were the crits. Chaos did not like that and takes out Imp. Punches him in the face. Now life hits again, 468, and we're doing real damage now. We're up around vanilla hit points or a little bit higher. And here we go, another swing, 8 hits, 845, and terminated. GG Life Reboot at 2 hours, 41 minutes, and 41 seconds.
GG. Oh, Wow, nice job, Lifereboot. So I'm guessing enemies weren't clamped because bosses were clamped because holy.
Bosses certainly felt clamped, yeah.
Yeah, that if they weren't clamped, I'd be very surprised because it seemed like at least all the there were tougher bosses. Nobody had a real weakness, and so everything was probably vanilla or higher.
Yeah, it definitely felt that way, which is why I'm glad I did the red mage. I'm really sad I missed the tail because I had to spend so much time trying to level up that red mage to be used, or as a carry. Because there's no way a knight's gonna do, or a fighter was gonna carry that. I don't think with my party comp.
Yep, and GG and welcome Lifereboot.
Hey, GG. Thank you very much.
Oh, GG Lifereboot. That was a seed. Wow.
Yeah, so Lifereboot. Well, we've been talking to Deng for just a minute or two, so we'll ask you some questions now. So, what did you think about this seed?
I enjoyed the flags. I didn't really care for the Blizzard Catmen. Also, would anybody like a Cat Claw -2? I have a bunch for sale.
It's so true.
Cat Claw -2, some cursed opal armor.
Cursed dragon armor -5. That was nice.
Yeah, so we managed to have a little dance with Warmech, so a couple of times. So, did the robot chicken live up to his reputation?
Yes, and I entered Sky very early, thinking, I was still looking for things opening boxes. And, while I'm there, I might as well take a peek, but I knew that I was super low level, and with the increased boss stats, I figured I probably wouldn't be able to beat him, but I'd be back. So.
Yeah, he is certainly tough this round. And the 2 nuclears is, after the Blizzard, is about as close to vanilla as you're going to find. And he could throw a punch too, I guess.
Yeah, he got initiative on me. He's just like, oh, that's a cool top row character you got there. Dead. I was like, you're a jerk.
And then the real difference in this seed was Dengwoo went to ice early, and Lifereboot, you went, instead of going to ice, you went to
Volcano, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all gave us a great race. It was actually really nice to show off that 2 very different strategies between Dengwoo not finding the tail and you not getting the floater.
Oh, he didn't get the floater at all?
Nope, and he actually reset out of the chain, but he did the entire seed floaterless.
Oh, nice.
I'm not sure what's going on. I can only hear MG Weirdo right now. I don't know if anyone else is talking.
The others have spoken a little bit, but not as much. But we were just mentioning that you did not go and get the floater, that you actually reset out of that chain. And that was one of the big differences between your run and Dengwoo's run. I mean, so you guys had the same seed, but there were certainly some big deviations along the way.
Understood. What led to the floater?
Crown to crystal to TNT to floater. And
from the robot, wasn't it?
The crown was from the caravan, was the shop item.
Yeah, that's right.
right? So we're really happy to see both of you guys, park the ship at Onrak and go to Caravan over land. But, and then Dengwoo followed that up, got his floater, and was cruising the friendly skies, while Lifereboot was playing pirate, running around facing all the sharks.
I really wish I would have paid attention, because that first encounter was long enough, and that would have cut out a lot of time. Like, even as a floaterless seed, like, you can make your way around very quickly. That was a very generous first encounter. I wish I would have taken more advantage of that with the hard reset.
Yeah, no, that the first encounter, the encounter manip, that was a great thing we saw you do, Lifereboot. You certainly took a lot more advantage of that first encounter, that first free run, much more than Dengwoo did.
I see. Yeah, it was a bit of a hero run, so I decided to reset fast and often.
But just don't use the hero run in Mirage, because that's where the Catmen were in the first encounter. Oh my god, they tore me up.
Yeah, let's see. We had Blizzard Catmen, we had Damage Poison Mummies, and we had Stone Mages.
The Bane Giants got me a few times
those
too.
two.
Yeah, and the Bane Giants, and then the Eye Mages were kind of rough, so I think it felt like Lifereboot, you had a little bit more issues with some of those monsters and finding them at the wrong times than Dengwoo
Ice
did.
Cave especially was very challenging.
The mute specters, or whatever they were, those were annoying.
That was the Eye Mages, I think.
Or
They
Eye
were
Mages, yeah.
Mutant Ice 2, maybe?
Oh, that was good times. Hey,
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, so I think the one thing that Dengwoo missed in Ice was the mages casting Stone Poison. And I know that certainly gave you a reset or two, Lifereboot.
That would have been real difficult. I was terrified. I was really terrified of Ice Cave.
I mean, that's randomizer sometimes, right? If one runner sees this encounter as being nasty, and the other person just doesn't even see them at all.
Well, Lifereboot, I hope you enjoyed it. GG's, I hope you take part more in the Iron Goal here, because you can challenge the higher seeds and choose some flags and stuff like that. So, I mean, even if you're not a competitive person, whatever, it's kind of fun. I enjoyed it, at least, but hope to see more of you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do have one last question for you guys. How did you guys end up with these flags?
I blame Dengwoo.
I actually did a fatal 4-way with these flags originally when I chose them. I altered a couple things since then, and I added more items into the incentive pool, and then I kind of played around with some stuff, and this is what we got to.
I mean, 14 loose items is just a couple.
I was in go mode. I'm just like, all right, I should go. But man, that tail is looking really good right now if I could find it. And as you said, it was in that one earth thing. I almost went to go get it. I was like, nah.
Well, and then you reset out of the Temple of Fiends Revisited to go do that one extra check at the Sages.
Yeah, I mean, that's how important I thought it was, because it gave me an extra life cast. It gave me, what was it? Excalibur. It gave me more armor to equip on all my stuff. I was just like, it's so good. Couldn't even make use of it.
Yeah, it certainly would have provided you a lot of more comfort. It would have made that Temple of Fiends a lot more comfortable. But otherwise, I guess we can start to wrap this up. So, final thoughts, runners? Lifereboot and final thoughts?
I appreciate the challenge. Thanks for coordinating, Deng. Thanks for getting someone together to do some commentary and a restream. I'll have to check it out tomorrow. Yeah, I'm sort of the Glass Joe of the Iron Goal competition. So it's kind of interesting to finally get challenged, and I had a lot of fun. So thank you.
For me over here, MG Weirdo Cyrenus, thank you for doing commentary. Darkmoon, thank you for doing the restream on this. I know it's a little late and things, stuff like that, but Weirdo, it's good to see you back. Good to see you in the comms booth. Cyrenus, you the man. I'm hoping Lifereboot can hear me. If not, GG to you. Hope you had fun. Hope you partake more in the Iron Goal when you hear back or watch this back. So, thank you. And I believe we have a title match coming up. I don't even know when. It's coming up shortly, isn't it?
Yeah, the title match is on the 11th, so Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern.
That's right.
Eastern
Caleb, the big worm, Caleb himself, is taking on the two-time defending champion Spellzap. Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, and Caleb is on a hot streak. He's won 2 in a row and 3 in a row. I stand corrected. Thank you.
Yeah, he just beat me like yesterday or the day before, so he's up to 3 now.
Yeah, so Caleb's on a hot streak. We'll see if our champion can handle it. And then Cyrenus, partner, it's been great casting with you, and this has been a great match. So thank you, Dengwoo and Lifereboot, for entertaining us on a Sunday evening. And I'll let you close it out.
Oh, thank you very much. It's always a great night in the booth. I'll just echo some of the same. Thank you to Darkmoon for hosting us. Thank you for both of our wonderful racers, Dengwoo and Lifereboot, putting on an excellent show tonight. And thank you, Weirdo, for hanging out with me and providing all this commentary for them. I don't have a whole lot more to say about this seed. It was a seed. It ran a little long. I'm a little tired, so I'm going to wish everyone a wonderful and excellent good night.
And I'm guessing at that point we're good, gentlemen?
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Yes, indeed.
Well, then at that point, I'm going to wrap things up here. This is Darkmoon EX, Darkmoon Firelight on Twitch, who you're watching right now. Saying good night to everyone. Make sure you follow our commentators, Cyrenus and MG Weirdo. Of course, follow our runners, Dengwoo and Lifereboot. You can give me a follow as well if you so care to do so. This video will be up on YouTube along with all the other ones we have up right now. Plus, you can check out that, our Great Duckling program, the tournament that we have coming up, Spring Tournament. We have our weekly Randomania and Speed Gaming matches going on, and of course this Iron Goal tournament that pretty much runs continuously all the time when we're not doing anything else. You can find all of that and more at FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. From here on Twitch, I am DarkMoonEX, and this has been Final Fantasy After Dark. We will see you next time.